They're coming to get you, Barbara. Hey, it's us. We're back with another episode of the MANSON Brothers Show.
Maybe the scariest one yet.
I don't know. But we'll see. It could be. I think that's what they call signposting in the business. It's pretty much a dead giveaway. We're going to be talking about George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. And we'll be right back. And we're back, man, this week. Don't shake Godzilla at me or I'll slap you silly.
Jim repressing me.
That's scary right there. We're talking about some scary stuff. We're talking about basically the first ever flesh-eating zombies anybody's ever seen.
Absolutely.
Straight from Romero, black and white.
Inventor.
Creepy as can be. Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. On my top of my scariest films of all time, it is number one.
Yeah, it's still super scary.
Yeah, it holds
when
up
you watch
well.
it now.
Absolutely.
You know, there's something about the.
I think too, it's the way they shot it too.
Yeah.
You know, the black and white, the docu-style.
Absolutely.
Way they filmed it, the way Romero directed the actors.
I'm going to tell you one of the things that to me was the scariest part of it. Do you remember on Tuesdays when we were a kid and the national broadcast, whatever thing would come on and be like, you know, you'd be watching TV by yourself and you thought something bad was
I was like, Mommy. She's like, Carlos, shut up.
Like,
Cállate.
Anyway.
No, that's her mom language.
But it was like when you saw that thing, like you had all this time to think about what
could possibly be going on.
Right.
But back when we were kids, it was the big scare was nuclear.
Of course. Yeah. And that's kind of part of this. Was
like totally. Oh, yeah.
Which was everybody's hot button. I mean, anything from Godzilla to mutants to
between the 50s and the mid 70s, it was radioactive.
What can happen with radioactivity, right? And
including some legit films like the China Syndrome and Threads and all that were legit dramas. Actually.
So, but I remember when they show in the movie the guy at the radio or the TV station, was basically reading off, and the dead are coming back to life, and you know that was
was.
No.
Okay, so here's some movie history for you folks. Fans will know this already.
It's the savantism again.
That was a man named Bill Cardilli. I think it's Cardilli, and he hosted a horror movie show. And he was Chilly Billy Cardilli, which is how Romero got him to be in the film. And his daughter, Lori Cardilli, was in Day of the Dead. She was the lead actress.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yep.
Huh. The one that is kind of like April from Teenage Ninja Turtles, kind of reminds you of her?
Kind of,
yeah. Helicopter person?
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. Well, getting back to Chilly Billy Cardilli or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, but he had an authenticity to that thing.
Oh my God, I was going to say. He was money as just the deadpan news guy.
Well, yeah, and what's kind of cool,
giving you the location, scrolling on the screen of where to try to get to.
What's really cool about that is it sure did. And here's what made it more real is they're out in this farmhouse, right? So they're disconnected from a lot of activity, and so they don't know what's going on. So they're going by what's going on there. So if you could put yourself in that position, like if you're in an urban area, say Chicago or Pennsylvania, I think that it took place in Pennsylvania. So if you're near Philly or Pittsburgh.
It was outside of Pittsburgh.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, you could look out your window and see what was going on. But here you're disconnected. They don't really know what's going on. So they're getting their information firsthand from this guy.
Right.
And he sells it. I mean, the guy was an actual reporter, so he really sells it. And that creeped me out. Even as a kid, it creeped me out.
It was still to this day when I watch it, I'm like, ugh.
And what's also
what's weird about it is you know, nowadays they kind of tell you if there was a zombie apocalypse, that's exactly where you want to be, is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, not in the
very few people.
Yeah, and it's funny because in the first one they're trying to get to a more populated area, whereas in Dawn of the Dead, as we talked about before, we did the show, trying to get away. Right. Yeah, for me, I'm going out to the country as far as I can get away from everybody else.
I think they showed too. Obviously, not at night; it makes it more difficult because you can't see everywhere. But in the daytime, you know, if you're out in the field, you can bob and weave right through any of these.
Yeah, and if you had packs of people with guns. They were just traveling together, and as long as you didn't get overrun, yeah, and you didn't get overrun, you were fine. And the guy said, "Well, beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy." But
I love that guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. And I don't know if he was an actual local or what his deal was, but he was cool. Also, I think, and I believe in the Dawn of the Dead remake that we're not too hot on. Scott Reiniger from Dawn of the Dead, who played not Peter, he played the other guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he played that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so this particular zombie film with the flesh-eating zombies.
Ken Foray was in the remake.
Ken Foray, yeah, he was
the Dead Walker.
Yeah.
Room in Hell.
Nobody delivers that line like Ken. God bless you, Ken. We love you.
Amen.
He was my first action movie hero, but that's for Dawn of the Dead. So Night of the Living Dead was actually the very first film that portrayed zombies in this particular manner, which was eating flesh. Before that, there were people in trances, right? Like voodoo zombies.
You still had to brain these guys, right, to kill them?
Yes. Yeah. That's where they originated that you had to kill. They even say in the movie, kill the brain and kill the ghoul. They didn't call them zombies at that time. They called them ghouls, which was really scary because a ghoul is a flesh-eating thing, like demon or
Clem the Ghoul.
Like Clem the Ghoul. Well, watch our second movie. It's not out yet, but when you watch it, he'll be in there. But anyway, so probably that was the first time.
He's probably getting a cut.
And for budgetary reasons. But anyway, there's a really graphic scene of the zombies ripping apart and eating the couple.
Yeah.
They go out to the truck, right? And they get blown up. And then there's this.
What a great scene, by the way.
Man, is it a great scene. And they're eating, and there's this low, Moog synthesizer just going boom, boom.
I like the part where you see the one kind of come up on the tree.
Yeah. And then there's two scrambling for intestines
or whatever it is off the tree.
And then it goes from a solid, a steady camera to a shaking camera where these ghouls are going after these intestines. It's super creepy and super effective, and has what a lot of people think I think they mentioned in the top 100 scariest movie moments, the matricide scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing theme of the film is you've got, I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a complete asshole.
I don't remember.
Had the daughter who had been bitten.
Mr. So-and-so.
Yeah, and they were, and he was hell-bent on getting
Mr.
down
Cooper.
in that basement, right?
Yeah, it was Cooper.
Exactly. And we got to get in that basement, right?
And he was one of the producers of the film too, as was Johnny, who at the beginning is coming to get you, Bubba. That's Russ Striner, who was.
I liked his character.
Yeah, he was great, and he
had those kick-ass driving gloves.
Yeah, he was neat, and he was one of the producers, and he produced, I believe, Dawn of the Dead as well. And but Cooper was a great character because in one sense, you get it. He's trying to protect his family.
Oh, sure.
And the funny part about it was he's telling everybody the basement is the safest place. The basement is the safest place. And the character, the lead character, Dwayne Jones, was telling him, no, we'll die down there. And if anybody comes, nobody will see us down there, which he was right.
Yep.
But in the end, it was the basement that saved him.
Well,
right. And let's not gloss over the importance of Dwayne Jones here as the lead guy, because this was back during the civil rights movement days. There were not many African-American leads in films, let alone horror movies.
No.
And Romero did not set out to make a statement. He just wanted the best actor he could get, and the best actor he could get.
I think that's actually the coolest part about it.
Yeah, it was Dwayne. That he's like, I don't care
because he was the best actor.
Yeah, he didn't care what color he was, or he cared he was a good actor. And it happened to be Dwayne Jones, and he really broke barriers with that film. And by the way, he was fucking great in it. I was going to
say, he was brilliant in the movie. I couldn't imagine somebody else being that part.
No.
And what I thought was really interesting was they never, you never felt like, obviously he and Cooper had a ton of tension, right?
Yeah, but they never made it racial. No,
it was just
that's
tension.
What was really cool. They didn't put a hammer on it.
No.
Or anything to beat you over the head. by saying, oh, he's African American, these people are white or whatever. It was just everybody was there. It was a bunch of people under a lot of pressure.
And everyone besides Cooper.
I think there was an undercurrent. I think if you watch the movie, it happens naturally, though. It's very organic.
I think the ending gives you an undercurrent.
Yes.
But I don't think that the
ending definitely, I believe that ending was intentional like that, I think.
100%.
But the rest of it's very organic and it's really cool. And then you have the other guy, Tom, who's the young guy with the hot chick girlfriend.
But the point is if you look at it, everybody but Cooper, including Cooper's wife, follows the lead of Dwayne. I mean, they're behind him 100%.
Right. But she's even against her husband. She's like, what, they have a TV up there? She's like, why are you being so pig-headed? Yep. He's worried about his daughter. Sure. And we all get that, who, by the way, is slowly becoming a zombie. She's been bitten, we find out, and all that. But I think the coolest thing about the movie for me is the reveals. We talked about the reports, and as this goes on, they're like, they never do tell you why it's happening. They hint that it might be because this Venus probe, as a Saturn probe or Venus probe, I can't remember, crashes back on Earth, and it may be the radiation that's coming through the atmosphere or something that was in there that it released whatever and made these things come back to life. So really just an absolute groundbreaking movie. And that opening scene of them driving through the cemetery with the credits, that in and of itself is creepy.
It just feels like something bad is going to happen.
Right.
But that's what's so great is that they get this awesome tone in spite of it being black and white that makes it's almost
so much better. If they'd have shot it in color, I'm telling you, would not have been as effective.
Plus, I think the other thing, one of the reasons why they did it was the zombies didn't need that much makeup to look like zombies in black and white.
And they were scary zombies. I'm going to tell you, two best zombie movies in the world as far as scary zombies go, Night of the Living Dead and Zombie by Fulci.
I think one of the things that Romero did that was super cool, and this is taking it to Dawn, which we've already covered, was when he went to Dawn, he kind of gave them this bluish tint.
Yeah, kind of a dead look.
Right, which I thought really played off of the black and white.
Yes. I don't know. I agree with you. And I dig that too. Also, I think, I think the limitation that the movie had budgetarily helped it. Sometimes having a low budget helps it because they had to kind of be more inventive about stuff,
I agree with you. I think the things that they did in the vein of saving money probably
helped it.
Actually made it even creepier.
Yeah, because when they remade the damn thing in 1990, I mean, that movie is enjoyable and it has its merits, but it's not scary.
That brings us to our viewer email of
my favorite part of the show. Let's hear it.
Well, this one comes from... We've actually got a couple here, and I'm going to pick one. I'm sorry, guys. I got to
wait. That's Haley from Tucson, and she says you guys suck. Well, let's not read that one, man.
Haley. It's really him, but it drags me down. This one comes from Jackie B. From where is Jackie B. from? Gallup, New Mexico.
Oh,
holy cow!
Gallup, love New Mexico, folks.
Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget what song?
Route 66 by Depeche Mode.
No, it's not by Depeche Mode.
They do a cover of it.
Whose Life is a Highway by?
Tom Cochran.
And
then Rascal Flatts, our buddy Jay DeMarcus, Rascal Flatts, the king of the bass, king of the country bass. All right.
Is country bass a thing?
No,
I didn't think so. Here we go. Jackie B. Sorry about that. I don't know if Jackie's a girl or a guy, but I'm gonna think I like Jackie Brown, so
let's go with Jackie's a chick.
Jackie writes, "Hey guys, love the show. Which of the remakes of Night of the Living Dead is your favorite? Because there's been a billion of them, and most of them are schlock."
Well, the only official remake I know of is the one with Tony Todd.
Oh no, dude, there's like 20.
Is there really?
Yeah, there's like a 3D one with Sid Haig.
Oh yeah. No, I'll tell you that it's brutal, but it had an interesting premise. This wasn't well executed. No, I don't know. The one with Tony Todd, probably.
Yeah, it's got to be the one with Tony Todd, and I'm going to give you a few reasons.
Because Tony Todd is in it.
Well, Tony Todd is great, and he totally looks the part. He looks not just like Dwayne, but he pulls it off.
Oh yeah. But the difference is they flip the characters. So in Night of the Living Dead, the original, Dwayne Jones is the strong character, and Barbara is the weak character who actually winds up getting off. In the remake, they flip, and Barbara becomes a strong character, and the Dwayne Jones character played by Tony Todd becomes the weak character, which I thought was interesting.
I have an admission. I have to admit.
You thought she was hot.
Yes.
She is hot.
I thought the redhead that played Barbara
she's
in the remake was just strangely super hot.
She was.
I don't know what it was.
I agree. I
don't. She had short hair and all this other stuff.
Yeah, even with the short, I'm not big on girls with short hair, but she was really cute and a good actress. And I've seen her with long hair, and she's twice as attractive. Really? But she never really showed up in much else.
In the remake, they utilized the attic, which they never did.
Yes.
Which, by the way, if you're going to get away from zombies, the attic is the only way to go.
Because they're not going to. You just knock the ladder down.
They don't even know there's an attic.
What are they going to do? Pull-ups?
Yeah.
No. Here's an interesting point. Getting back to Night of the Living Dead with Dwayne Jones and all that. I think had that movie been so, it makes a statement because of the time period in which it was made.
Yeah.
Right. I think Dwayne Jones would have been. As
you mentioned, the civil rights part.
Correct.
Big part of the statement.
Had Dwayne Jones.
Sorry for getting so cerebral on the show this week, guys.
I think he would have been a bigger star if the movie was, if it was a more future time. More because because he did not go on to a lot of stuff. He made a few other movies, Ganja and Hess, which was a great movie. Maybe we'll do that one, a vampire film. Really good. But he really didn't get a chance to get the career, say, that Ken Foray even had, being the lead in Dawn of the Dead, right? Which was 10 years later.
It's interesting you talk about that, and I don't know the answer to this, so maybe you probably do because you're such a savant. Or write us in, tell us if you guys know. I have to imagine Night of the Living Dead took some time to find an audience, right? Or did it just explode out there?
I don't know the answer to that question. The best I know is that when it came out, nobody expected that it was what it was. Yeah. So they ran it with kiddie matinees. And I think Roger Ebert, when he reviewed it, was like sitting in a children's double feature.
Yeah, well, that's what you'd said.
No, I think it took off. I think it did it. I think it was a classic. Like,
but it took
I don't know that for sure. So if you folks do, please write in and tell us. I'm guessing it did.
Only I know somebody out there knows
so the answer. Yeah.
I mean, well, and it took forever for Dawn to come out.
Yeah, and Romero made a lot of movies before he made that one. He made Martin, he made The Crazies, he made Season of the Witch. I think he had made one other one about a carnival that never came out. I think it's on Shudder now. But it took him a long time to get Dawn of the Dead out.
Carnage, was that it?
Yeah, something like that.
Made that up.
I don't know. It's possible. Who knows? You could fool me with it easily.
Doesn't take a lot.
No. Gullible Gil. Anyway, so I think Dwayne Jones would have been a bigger actor, but none of those other people actually went on to other things, and most of them were friends of Romero, who he used as actors.
Well, George went on to big things.
And here. Right. Well, John Russo, who wrote Night of the Living Dead, he wrote this. I don't know if he wrote the script or the novella or whatever. Who also wrote Return of the Living Dead. Yeah. He plays one of the zombies in there. He's the one where Dwayne Jones put the tire iron through his head at the beginning.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's John Russo.
Is he in Return of the Living Dead?
I don't know. I don't think so. Who knows?
I like these zombies,
but I love Return of the Living Dead. If you haven't seen that one, we did it. So go back and watch it. I'm sure it'll air by the time we do this. But so let me ask you a question. Do you prefer the slow-moving, lumbering zombies of Night of the Living Dead, or do you prefer the running zombies of the Dawn of the Dead remake?
Oh my God, it's not even close.
Yeah, I like
you again. I think we've actually touched on this in previous episodes.
Probably in Dawn of the Dead.
Wouldn't know it from our film.
Yeah,
I am a purist when it comes to zombies.
I am too.
Lumbering
and corpse-like,
slow and corpse-like. I do not want anything sprinting.
No.
It's actually one of the. I didn't think that the Dawn of the Dead remake was so horrible. I hated the sprinting zombies.
Yeah,
I really hated it.
I thought it was, but whatever.
I thought they had some good.
There's great actors in there. I mean, it's got great actors, man, and
fairly cool concept. I just didn't.
It's a Zack Snyder film, and he tends to. I don't know. I don't dislike
Michael Bay.
Yeah, I don't dislike Zack Snyder's stuff because I'll tell you that scene at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead with the little girl is creepy as shit. And the opening credit sequence is excellent.
Yeah, I think the beginning when
Beekman's dying,
all hell's breaking loose, and she's zipping through.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like,
that got me all jacked up.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh wow.
Sure.
But anyway, we're talking about Night of the Living Dead. So what's your favorite part of Night of the Living Dead?
Well, outside of the guy delivering the message of the ghouls and that kind of thing, which I still to this day,
that's my.
It's the things that mimic reality that are so
that make it effective,
scary.
It hits you.
Yeah, but I love the scene with the truck where they've kind of devised this plan. It's taken a while to find the keys, and then everything goes to shit.
Yeah, they can't have a lock. He tries to shoot the gas pump lock off and shoots the pump.
It
and gas
reminds
is coming
me
out
of the scene in another one of my favorite movies, which I'm sure at some point in time we'll do. But
Beaches?
No, it's not Beaches.
No.
Although I do love the beaches. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, you're gonna hear about that one.
Yeah, I know. The scene with what's his face from Rocky, who's Apollo's trainer,
Tony Burton.
Tony Burton in Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
When they devise a plan, Tony Burton, he lost the game.
Yeah.
He's gonna go hotwire the car and take off,
Yeah.
right? And they're rooting for him, and he's doing it, and then of course he pulls down the way and gets shot in the back of the head. There's somebody in the car. Very much reminded me of that because it's like they've devised this plan
and it goes
found
to
the keys,
shit.
They're doing the thing. They got to get gas or whatever, and then it's just shit.
By the way, no other series of films, no other film franchise genre speaks better about the Second Amendment than the zombie film.
Well, yeah.
Because guess what? If you don't have a gun, you're toast.
Well, I think what they did, especially in that scene.
I wonder if they wrote that in a constitution, like to own and bear arms, and then like in parentheses,
in case,
especially for if there's a zombie.
I don't think they knew about them.
They should put it in there.
Although if you watch Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, they were probably well versed.
Yeah, maybe. You know what my favorite part of, other than obviously we talked about the news reports of Night of the Living Dead, I really liked the scene where she's kind of goes up the stairs and there's that skull, like the person with the flesh eating off its head, because that is shocking. And whenever they advertise the movie, and even on the poster, I believe that image is on there. Yeah. And it's shocking. And it was shocking for that day, especially the movie came out and it didn't have a rating.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, for that, it had to be
it ran with a kiddie film. I mean, could you imagine?
I love that part with the, again, going back to the truck, because it reminds me, in wrestling, we always have the false comeback, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's
total false comeback.
What it reminds me of is it's like your hopes are up. Everybody's going to do this thing.
That's our wrestling term for the day.
It is. Are we ready?
False comeback.
Wrestling term of the day, and it's
false comeback.
Tell us what a false comeback is.
So the false comeback happens when the heels are beating the shit out of the baby faces, and then, like, say the heel goes to do something like throw the bad guy, or throw the good guy off the ropes to give him a clothesline, and he gets reversed, and you think, oh man, this is it. He's the good guy's really gonna take over. And at the last minute, no, bang. He turns around, or his partner hits him on the back of the head or whatever. So it gets you to the point where you're like,
usually the way it works to make it even better is the baby will get a couple little shots in.
So you think
he's making the cut, and then he goes for the big move and gets cut off. Comeback.
Yeah. So that's a false comeback. It's a hope that the good guy's gonna take over, but he doesn't.
The truck scene in Night of the Living Dead would be a false
comeback.
You believe that, oh my gosh, this is the thing that's gonna get him out, and then
it's a standard practice in all movies and all wrestling matches. That's part of the narrative.
You didn't hear that from us, though.
No.
So if Mike Gratchner calls, you did not hear that from us.
No. And here's another funny thing about Night of the Living Dead. So Night of the Living Dead arguably has made bazillions of dollars, of which George Romero saw almost none.
Yeah, made no money, right?
No, because what happened was they didn't get the copyright stuff done. Either they forgot it or they didn't put it on the thing. So Night of the Living Dead automatically went into public domain, and anybody could run it. And I heard, and our good friend Mike Kurz from Flashback Weekend would know this because he was good friends with George Romero. Hello to you, Mike.
Hey,
Shout
Mike.
out to Mike and Mia from Flashback Weekend, Chicago, the greatest horror convention on the planet. Apparently, they were involved with the mob too. The distributors were was like a front for the mafia or something like that, and so they took them to the cleaner. Yeah, they took them to the cleaners. So they didn't make a dime off of that.
Which cleaners did they go to?
I don't know.
Probably Skull Manson comment for the moment, for the day.
Probably Wong Brothers, where two Wongs can make it white. Wong Brothers Dry Cleaning on Wabash and
that one goes out to my old roommate
and Balboa,
Johnny Woo, whose parents actually owned a dry cleaning.
Did they really?
Just got to put it out.
Yeah, there you go. So. And George Jefferson owned a dry cleaning place too, and he was moving on up.
Weezy!
I love that show. Oh, yeah. If you don't like the Jeffersons, if you're from Generation X, you don't like the Jeffersons, there's something wrong with you.
You got an issue, that's right.
Anyway, yeah, so they didn't make any money on that at all. And could you imagine? You have a hit. Now you have a hit.
Prepared them all for the movie business.
Right. Because guess who else didn't make any money on a feature film?
Yeah, no. That's another story.
Maybe on the sequel. Yeah. But anyway, could you imagine you have like arguably one of the most popular, well-known horror films of all time, and you don't make a damn dime?
Does that mean that anybody can make a Night of the Living Dead since it's public domain, which is why they've made so many of them?
I don't know.
I think so.
It's possible. It meant anybody could distribute it.
Like War of the Worlds is now in public domain, so anybody can make a movie called War of the Worlds.
Right. There's a Dracula. There's a lot of them.
I think it's the same thing with Night of the Living Dead.
It's very possible, but so that's why in the early days of videotape and all that, there were so many different companies putting out these shit copies of Night of the Living Dead, or it was playing late night in Chicago for us on Channel 44 because they showed the more edgier.
Right.
Like in Chicago, WFLD TV was the more popular station. They had Svengoolie and they had Monstrous. By the way, shout out to our buddy Svengoolie. Best of the best. Best there is, best there ever was, best there ever will be.
Jimmy, shout out to you too, buddy.
Yeah, Jim Roach. So anybody could play it. So Channel 44 would play it late night on a Saturday because they didn't have to pay for it. Kind of edgy.
That's how you make money. Don't have to pay for something, get to show it.
Yeah, so imagine that.
A distribution model, isn't it?
Very well, maybe.
That's what I thought. If anybody knows anything about setting up distribution models, please send us an email because we'd like to know about it. I hear Westerns are a big deal nowadays.
Getting back to Night of the Living Dead, though. So one of the most famous scene is, spoiler alert again, this is not a review show, so we're going to get you, Barbara. For me, the scariest one is to me where the little girl Cooper kills her mother.
Oh yeah,
with the trowel. I mean, it's the most shocking scene that we hadn't seen anything like that before. It was kind of,
and I don't believe anybody's been killed with a trowel ever since in cinema.
No, possibly. I like cinema buns. You know, you go to Cinnabon.
On that note, speaking of zombies, it's time to go get zombified, and it's time for us to take us home. Tell them how we pay the bills. Bro.
You can go to mansonbrothers.com, drop us a line, leave us a note. We always answer, basically because we don't have anything better to do. But you can pick up a video, a Blu-ray or a DVD of the Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre, our feature film where we save the world from a horde of zombies. You can get a hat. You can get T-shirts that have a cool saying on the back with the Manson Brothers on the front. You can get a car.
Buy a car.
We got autographed pictures. We'll autograph anything you want. We'll autograph your mother-in-law, even if you don't want us to.
Don't ship her to us. COD, by the way.
And please hit subscribe and please hit like and leave us a comment if you want. Even if you don't like it, that's fine. We answer everything.
We do.
We're
very interactive.
Yeah, we're not.
Send us stuff. And please send us more questions. We love the email questions. That's the favorite part of the show.
We love interacting. We also like talking with people.
On that note, it's time to go. Kids, put your shopping carts away. God love you. Tune in next week.
Or they'll be coming to get you, shitty pants.